What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys, back yet again. More Halo Wars 2 action, and the balance changes, they're incoming. Week of July 5th, that's this week. A couple hours ago, Sketch on the Halo Waypoint posted talking through some balance changes they've been reviewing ever since the DLC dropped for a little over a week now, reviewing the play stats, getting feedback from the community. So we got balance changes. I'm going to go over them here. I'm going to try not to ramble like I usually do. I'll cover them all and then give some of my opinions here at the end. So it's really very much focused on, I think a lot of the conversation has started because of Jerome and how powerful he was, especially in the multiplayer team games. So it's very focused around heroes. That's essentially all we're seeing. So time for heroes, their speed bonus is going to be reduced from 30 to 15%. They want the interaction with much cheaper early game Jerome hero. They thought was too much, especially because he could hit and run very effectively. All heroes, they're going to be clamped at a minimum cost of 300 supply and 275 power. Arbiter and Jerome are going to keep slightly higher supply costs at 350. Cansano is dropping down as a result, 300 to 275. The reasoning for this, they're looking to reduce the impact of early game hero rush attacks, which again we're seeing quite a lot with Jerome, especially multiple Jerome matchups. I've seen quite a bit of that going around and people talking about it. So they've increased cheaper heroes to that 300 and 275. It's gonna, the whole point, providing a common baseline for hero building, and preventing any single hero unit from becoming uniquely dominant, like we've seen with Jerome here in the past week or so. Commander Jerome specifically, they're also talking a lot about the Mantis changes that they're going to do it. So now if the Mantis dies while he's inside of it, he is going to take some damage. The Mantis summon cooldown is being increased from 25 seconds all the way to 70 seconds. And it now starts on cooldown, which I believe means that as soon as you build him and get that ability, I think it will have to run through that first cooldown. This was a big reason for, I think, kind of those hero rush strategies that we were seeing, especially with him, the fact that he could come in, you get that secondary ability for his Mantis, and then you could call that in, and he was really a powerhouse. And it was hard to deal with. The Mantis was really good, so that's the reasoning for the change there. His first upgrade time is being upped by 5 seconds with additional power cost, and then overall his damage is being reduced 10%. Again, they're trying to slow down the Mantis push as well as the timing and make it longer to replace when it does die. Jerome's Mantis itself is going to have a reduction in HP and SP, 50% for HP, 25% for SP. The Mantis missile range is going to be reduced by 14%. Its laser's initial damage is going to be reduced by 17%, and then velocity is going to be reduced by 9%. Again, they're trying to limit the early game impact of Jerome's Mantis, and they want to kind of get it in line with the Tier 1, rest of the Tier 1 units. Brute Warlord is also going to see some modifications, so its HP and SP are being reduced 14 and 13% respectively. The first upgrade power cost is jumping up from 300 to 350 with an additional 5 seconds on the upgrade time, and then his pull cooldown is going from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. I saw Warlord Rush needed to be slowed down a little bit. The frequency of his pull ability made him punishing and they said too effective at assassinating enemy heroes. Clearly not Jerome, but other heroes at least. This should bring him again more in line with the Tier 1 units. Atriox Chosen, his initial damage is being reduced by 10%. His final damage upgrade is being reduced by 4%, and his build time is jumping from 30 to 33 seconds. In addition to the minimum cost change for heroes, this is going to greatly slow down Atriox Chosen early game, increases the hit to long-term economy and allows all heroes, to include Johnson and Forge, to beat his rush. So a lot of feedback. That's really it. That's it. So that's pretty concise. That's specifically what they were looking at as far as the balance changes. Tried to get those out quick. So we'll shift over to the point where I talk about my thoughts But hopefully this was helpful. The balance changes, I try to stay up to date as much as I can with Halo Waypoint and everything going on for Halo Wars 2, especially when it concerns how the game is going to play. The nice thing is this update, it's not going to require an update. It's going to be server-side, so you're not even going to see it. They're working through it getting through the testing phase, but they said it should be out this week. The only thing that you may notice, especially, is if you're playing a game and this update does drop, it will ask you to boot back out and have to restart the game to make sure that the changes take effect. But besides that, you shouldn't see anything. There's not going to be any patch or anything that you got to update or download. It should just be good to go once it goes live. My thoughts here are Jerome's being nerfed. I mean, that's 100% it. I do appreciate the fact that they're trying to get the leaders back in line with each other. I will say that. I've always been a proponent of that. I think that skill should be the thing that separates people, not the fact that they can call in a specific unit and move it towards an enemy base, and then it just becomes too hard to deal with. Now, there's definitely skill and build order and all those kinds of things that take effect, but my opinion from the outset, and it really hasn't changed, is that if you're a good player, you're going to be a good player, and you can be a good player with any leader. Now, specific units and stuff like that, it's hard to get everything in balance, so there's always going to be some unit or some leader, especially when you look at team games or how the leaders pair up against each other, where certain ones will have advantages over others, and that's fine. I think the move to get the heroes back in balance is good. I'm not sure if this is too much of a knee-jerk reaction to people wanting to play Jerome and play the Arbiter for this Heroes, to be honest. They have a little over a week's worth of data, and I just question if that's enough. Obviously, a lot of people are playing him. He is really good. I've seen, like I said, the Jerome rush, especially in multiplayer, is pretty heavy. But I guess time will tell. The fact that we're getting everything kind of more in balance and in line isn't necessarily bad. I again am not a huge fan, especially in the deathmatch, of the rush strategy. But I also understand, some people are really good at putting early pressure on an opponent, and that can really throw you off your game. So it's definitely part of the game. It's part of any RTS. So getting back into balance isn't necessarily a bad thing. I would just caution that we might be nerfing Jerome a little bit too much. And you don't ever want the heroes to not be good. I think the balance updates and changes that they had when the update first came out were good. I think that put a lot of the leaders kind of back into the conversation. And this, hopefully is just an extension of that. But really, time will tell, and we'll see. Again, it's no fun getting in a game of threes and you're against the team and everybody's using Jerome and they just move all of their mantises over to a certain person's base and then you can't win. So not mad there. But again, you also want the heroes to be good and to be worth what you're putting into it, because you got to think about it. You're building an extra building. You're putting resources, quite a bit of resources, into upgrading them and making them good. So it is a fine balance. I'd be very curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. I am really curious, especially those of you that play a lot more deathmatch. I'm definitely more of a blitz player, and I think Sloth is too. We've definitely been trying to get into deathmatch, but just haven't dabbled in it quite as much, mostly because the games take a while. But I really do want to hear what your feedback is. Again, my general stance, good that they're trying to balance it. Maybe they needed more data on this one because it seems like Jerome is getting a huge nerf. So let me know. Again, really, really interested to hear what you guys have to say. Love chatting with you guys in the community and getting your feedback on it. And you should be seeing these balance updates very soon. So stick out, keep an eye on them. Should be going live here any day now, hopefully. And we'll see how the meta changes after that. That's the one nice thing with balance changes, is that the meta always shifts. So maybe a strategy, new strategies come up and stuff like that, which is always fun. It keeps the game fresh. So I'm a Doc with Average Gamer, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, hit that like button for me. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. We've got the Average Gamer Guys Club. Feel free to join that on Xbox. Our Twitter link is down below. And as always, Halo Waypoint and all of the details you can find down in the description so you can check them out for yourself. Thanks again for our community, everybody that subscribed and will subscribe. We really appreciate all the support. It's been awesome. So thanks, and we'll catch you in the next one.